Biafra, superstars, media.
My people in how on a day, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you listen to the sound of my voice. Fellow Biafrans, the city you are seeing here is Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. See how beautiful they are building, they are rebuilding, rebranding, changing the landscape of their community, despite not having the resource that zoo called Nigeria is spending and wasting. I want you to watch this video and tell me what you think about it. It shows you it is possible. Now that we have Biafra, it is possible. Watch this video and I'll come back. Very, very shocking.
The other side there, you've got a cycle track. This is what Addis Ababa has turned into. A country that is developing itself. A mini Dubai that is coming from being a poor African country into a middle income economy. But here's where the magic is. Wherever you find this, it means jobs were created.
Listen.
Somebody had to dig up the old and make sure that they flattened it. Those were jobs.
Listen.
Somebody had to come and lay the gravel, and somebody had to blast the rocks that were created as the gravel. Those were jobs. The cement that was put, jobs. These bricks, these tiles, jobs. Over here, they leave 1 meter, 2 meters to put trees. The trees themselves, companies are actually creating jobs by growing these trees. Then the grass itself, somebody is creating the grass. And of course, the security. Make sure that nobody is going to walk on the grass. The people that are walking do not walk on the cycle track. All those are jobs. And that's how you turn a country from a poor country into a middle income economy. So that is how jobs are being created, by creating infrastructure that works for the people of Addis Ababa, by making the lives of Addis Ababans comfortable, convenient, by taking away the little dusty roads that used to be here and turning them into roads that are much more comfortable for people to walk on. They have turned
dusty roads
country into employment creator. But of course, it had to start with the metropolitan. The roads are absolutely amazing. They've got tunnels, they've got spaghetti highways, and all those are jobs that are being created. It's absolutely amazing, and this is how you create jobs in an economy.
Listen.
So the question is, how are the jobs created in a city like this?
Okay.
What are we learning from what it is that they're doing? Well, first of all, we are learning that this whole city is a construction site. It is a construction site with buildings going up. It is a construction site with pavements being done. It's a construction site with roads being improved. It's a construction site with them building bridges, flyovers, and tunnels. So what happens is every single time a project happens, the city council and the government of Ethiopia actually begins the investment. They invest in the construction of the buildings. The building owners also have to construct their buildings, because what they've done is all those old flats, old apartments that were not maintained, they've created a legislation to mandate that every building owner must maintain their building. The building, they can take it there, you can, is all those old flats, old apartments that were not maintained, they've created a legislation to mandate that every building owner must maintain their building. If you don't maintain your building, they can take it there, you can have is Addis Ababa Adwa Victory Memorial, where the Ethiopians resisted colonialism. On the 1st of March 1896, Menelik II mobilized peasants, women, children, and men to carry axes, hoes, spears, and shields to fight the Italians. The Italians were trying to colonize Ethiopia, but the Ethiopians resisted and defeated the Italians. This is the reason why the AU is held in Addis Ababa, because it defeated colonialism and was never colonized.
Did you just say what they said? They defeated colonialism. The first demon to deal with is colonialism. The first elephant in the room to deal with is colonialism. That thing that made you guys one. That thing that called you Niger area. To solve the problem in-house, you must solve the problem from the origin. Colonialism was a problem in Nigeria. Nigeria was not supposed to be one country, but you guys, you have refused to deal with the first problem. Ethiopia now, because even though they don't have our kind of revenue, see the road, landscape, flowers, trees. Look at the green grass there. I keep saying it. That dust, red dusty dust in Biafra land is a problem. You are going down the road, they make a road, but they don't put grass to cover those red dust. It is not done. It's a sign of a third world country that you are plying a road and there is dust everywhere. You put on a white shoe, you wear a white trouser, you are going for a wedding or something. Before you come back, your shoe has turned red. You must cover, those side of the roads with carpet grass, with trees to take, it's a problem. We must deal with that red dust. It's a sign of underdevelopment. It means you are not ready. The basics must be done. Ethiopia here, look, just imagine this. The money they make from their whatever they do in their country, I don't even know, but it's not even oil. The money they make, because there is no tribalism where somebody wants to steal the money and send the money to the Western world. The money they make, they reinvest it, they create and develop the economy. Today they are crying about the USAID. Oh, they've taken over their funding. They've stopped their funding. Trump has stopped the funding of USAID. I've got news for you. Your Nigerian politicians, they send more funding out abroad. That's a fact. The money they stash abroad, the stolen money they send abroad, it is more than the USAID funding, because when you send those money abroad, it helps to stimulate the economy of those countries. Go to Europe, go to USA, go to Panama, go to South America where they hide their money. They have funds there, they have liquidity of money. And they are investing. Look at Ethiopia, a country that, when you even see the migrants, they look very hungry, they look unkept in the Western world. The migrants of Ethiopia, anywhere they go, they give them the visa because they are looked as people who are, helpless and hopeless. But today, look at what they are building. Look at what they are building. See, watch this. See the street light. See the street light by your right-hand side. Dubai standard. Street light, though, that's not a tree. Street light is Dubai standard. Let that sink in. Watch this. Watch this. Eh? Look at the street light there. Street light there. Look at it there by your right hand of the screen. World-class standard. They are copying the blueprint from the Western world, because those in the Arab world doing these things, they don't have two heads. They don't have two heads. But when there is corruption, embezzlement happening, that's when that's when somebody will have 100 billion and they will only spend 2 billion and still the 98 billion for themselves, their family, their children's children, and their children's children. When the other people complain because of tribalism, the other tribe will say, no, mind your business, shut up, don't complain. Let him steal the money. It is their turn to steal. Our lolokon, Emi lokon. That is the problem. It will never work in that zone called Nigeria. It will never work. Ethiopia, small Ethiopia, look at what they are doing. Look at the standard of the road. 4 lanes, 5 lanes, skyscrapers. You are looking at this, you think you are already in Dubai. Just imagine this. See the street light. See the street light, man, for crying out loud. They took it to the next level. Not just to put a pole with two hanging lights. They said, no, let us go to the next level. Something, of the 21st century. Look at the street light there. This is what we are saying. Biafra is the only way for us. Biafra is the only thing that can take us to the point of El Dorado. And the first thing we have to do is to break away from the chain of colonialism. We must break away from that thing. Those people that came, the white man came and named you. They branded you. Oyibo came to enslave you. They named you. They branded you. Niger area, the area of the Niger. The area where you take with your ship, get to the area of the Niger, be behind the river Niger. The men there, they are very strong to work in the plantation. They are strong, they are good slaves to work in the field. Niger area. Niger area. Let us sink in. That's the first point, the first thing to deal with. Then once you have solved, colonialism, you've changed your name, changed your mind. Stop seeing, the white man's eyes as colder. Then you now deal with the problems. Okay, how were we before the coming of the white man? What was our lifestyle? Let us revert back to the way we were before the coming of the white man. Solve the problem. Everybody, maintain your region the way you were before. Go back to your region and develop yourself. Develop your house to your tent, O Israel. Then there will be a healthy competition. Each of the nation doing their business. If you want to come and do trade, no problem. We'll put some trade deals there. But maintain maintain your country. To the Yoruba nation, maintain your nation. The Biafrans, maintain your nation. To the Hausa, if you still want to do with the Fulani, the Arewa, up to you. Middle belt, maintain your own stuff. And then you will start thinking rightly that when you make a money from the resources, you will not want to steal it, because when you steal, you are stealing from your own people. Will a father and mother steal from their parents or steal from their children? It makes no sense. But a neighbor can, an in-law can, a nephew can. But for the love you have for your parents or your children, you will not steal from the children. Something you give them, you will not come and steal it in the night. That's why we are saying you must return to the way you were before the coming of Britain. Britain was the problem. That they made us one was the problem. Lord Lugard and his concubine Flora Shaw was the problem. Look at the road here. No dust in the air. That's the thing I hate most in the Biafra land. That red dust. Those governors, they should bury their head in shame. How can you be making road and the pavements, they had shoulders? You are not thinking, say, okay, if we are applying this road, for the fact we have red soil, that soil is a blessing, but you have made it to be a curse for the people. Because red soil shows that, the nutrient level of the land is very, very high. Those that have red soil, the content, the clay, the content, the nutrients is very, very high in the earth crust. But unfortunately, when the sun hits that soil, dust will begin to come out. And when you're applying a road without, grassing up, putting grass all across the soil to hold it, because the carpet grass will not trap the dust, then when you are driving, you will not have those problems. In America, states like New Orleans, they have red soil as well, but there is grass all across the whole road. You would not see dust, jumping into the air and messing up. That's a sign of a third world country, for crying out loud. Just watch what I'm saying here. Watch this now. Look at the pedestrian road there. Next to it is the grass, green grass, to trap the soil, to trap the dust. That's what I'm talking about. In Biafra land, we must do it because we have red soil. We must do it. Once the road is done, the place when soil, when sand there, you put carpet grass there. If there's no, if you cannot plant carpet grass, you put artificial grass there. Then create some circles, put plants within those circles. That's how it's done, to trap the dust. Any dusty environment is a sign of a third world country. It shows you are not developed. It shows you don't have the technical know-how to control and manage your environment. It's a shame. When I was in Enugu some years back, every day you have to wash the sole of your shoes, your sneakers. It will mess it up. Your trousers dust, black trousers red dust, white trousers red dust. You polish your shoe every day, red dust. But look at Ethiopia. They are doing the right thing because they also have red soil. Look at how green the grass is to trap in those sand, those area when they red and dusty. The grass will trap it. That's how they do it in the Western world. That's why, your cars are moving and there is no dust in the air. Please, I am begging the Biafran government, now that we have Biafra, as we are going to implement Biafra, we must think about those extra things. If you are building a motor park, you must design it well, not just a place where dirty cars, rickety cars, they are hanging around. People are just shouting mud everywhere, mud. Mud, shit, piss. Everything is scattered everywhere, red dust everywhere. That's not nice. It must be a beauty. It must be something that is beautiful to the eyes. Ethiopia is doing it. Ordinary Ethiopia, they are doing it. It shows that you are now a thinking country. You are now mature in your mind. You now want to take things to the next level. You're opening the business, not just zinc and shed. No, you build a shopping mall. Our government, the Biafran government, we can build shopping malls. Then people will now pay some money or they pay rent to go and rent shop there. Every year, they are paying us. Then it is for us to now get a company to maintain that shopping mall. Not the government doing it, because the government will be lazy in handling. In fact, government cannot handle everything. That's the problem in that so-called Nigeria. They build something nice and they expect the government to manage it. Before you know it, they cannot maintain it. It will now, dilapidate and destroy. That's why if you watch their national stadiums, it's all down because they don't have the maintenance culture. In the Western world, when the government builds something, they will now get a supplier, go into a contract with the company to maintain it. Maintenance culture. You pay the company some money and it's their duty to maintain that place. And there will be something called SLA. SLA. You see, service level agreement. SLA. That is the difference between a developed country and a third world country. Service level agreement. SLA. Let's keep playing the video. SLA is the difference between a developed country like USA, Canada, Australia, UK, Germany, France, and a shithole like Nigeria. SLA. When you build something, when you have an infrastructure, when you have a bus system, a train system, a tram system, when you give out the contract will also include the clause for the SLA, the service level agreement. It means, for example, let me break it down because you guys don't know where I'm coming from. I've lived in a standard where I cannot go back to that zoo called Nigeria. I cannot conform in that zoo called Nigeria because your standard is so low. SLA, service level agreement. For example, if you have a train system, you have spent billions to build a train system. And the services every 1 hour, for example, the train must come from point A. There must be a service of train from, say from 2 a.m. There must be a train till 3 a.m. Every 1 hour, train must come around. In the contract you are signing with the contractor, given to manage that train system, under the clause, they'll say, look, the least you can be late. For example, if the train should be there for 2 p.m., but the train is running late, they'll say the most time or the least time you can be late for is 7 minutes. 7 minutes. If you go beyond 7 minutes, it means now you are owing us. You have to pay a fine because you have breached the contract. That's how government even make their money. So before you know it, the private firm that now manage the train system, they now know their KPI. Say, okay, every hour train must be there, and the duration of difference is 7 minutes. So people now who have a job to go to, when they get to the train station, they know a train should be there 2 p.m. If the train is running late, they are now confident, say, okay, maximum time will be 7 minutes. Before you know it, 2:02, 2:05, 2:06, the train will now come. But if sometimes, due to unforeseen reasons, the train might be late for 10 minutes, they will now report it, make an announcement. As they make the announcement, say, please, there is a flood somewhere, or the rail line, the electric system mess up somewhere. So we shall be 15 minutes late. Two things will happen. They will pay compensation to those who are using the train, the passengers, and they will also pay a fee to the government because they have breached that contract. And guess what? Because they have that in the back of their mind, they'll be running an effective system. At all time, the train will be there. At all time, the train will be clean because they'll, in the contract, you say, oh, you must clean the train or wash it every 3 days because of hygiene, or every day you clean the train. So when you set those things there in the contract, the government gives it to the contractor. They are now running a service. And before you know it, the people now using the service, they are now having an amazing service system. That's how things work. It is called system thinking. Before you know it, once you put all those things in every different department in the community, in the society, things now look vibrant. Before you know it, anywhere you are going, things are working well. The government in Africa, or I will say in that zoo called Nigeria, they don't have that thinking. Even the palm tree you are seeing here, you contract somebody to wet it, to, when they are dry, to cut the trees down, to weed. You get everybody to do all these things. Look at their own here. A security man is there, just, behind this man. A security man is there. Watch. These simple things, you must learn how to do it. You must learn how to do these things. It's possible. It's possible. Simple things. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg. A security man is there. His job now is to make sure, people don't play in the grass. People don't mess up the road. And see how he's dressing very clean. He's not dressing black. They collect, Roger. They steal from the people. No. Make them dress clean. A light blue shirt, if not white shirt. A light blue shirt. Ironed. Clean shoe. Trouser clean. Learn this healthy stuff. Not this kind of black titty shirt with the logo that you are wearing in the southeast. You are dressing like a cult person. No, take away that mindset. Take away that mindset and start thinking like a human being. Compete with the world. For example, if I was the governor of a state in Biafraland, I'll be thinking about, this state, on what level do I want to mirror it with? Which country I want to compete with? If it's Saudi Arabia, if it's Australia, Dubai, then I'll say, let me see what they have. What do they use? The kind of street light. I will see it. I will now mirror it. Or I will now come with something upgraded, a new version, the latest system. You see, you mirror. You start by mirroring, by copying the work. It is okay to copy work first. For example, the presidents of those zoos, when they are sick, they go to the Western world to go and get health care because they are greedy. What stops them from mirroring what they go to copy or what they go to use there? Why not come back and build the same thing there in Africa? You are sick, you go to France, you go to England for checkup. Why not build the same thing in Africa? That's the question. You copy it. At least do a copy and paste. Okay, I've been to this hospital. I've seen the scanning system that they're using to scan my body. The MRI scanning, all those things they're using. The X-ray they're using. Okay, let me buy this exact one. Bring it back to Africa to use it there. They will say no because they are selfish deep inside. They are not one people. Because you don't love those that you are in one country with. That's why a president will travel to France for a checkup. When you finish the checkup, you come back. You don't think, say, okay, instead of going back to France, let me buy everything in that hospital and build it in my own country. They won't do it. They won't do it. Only a father and a mother will go to market, see what they like, then go buy and carry and come house, share, give their children and eat for dinner, for breakfast, for lunch. Only a father, a loving father and mother will do that. Parents. But when are strangers, the stranger will go market, see chicken when he like, he go chop the chicken there, enjoy them, then come back house, pretend like say he never chop. It does happen a lot. I remember back then, my dad brought his his relatives. He was sending them to school in our house. So he brought his relatives. Then go there, where they play ball, they sell akara, moi, all those things. They go. I will see them while I'm playing ball in the evening. They will go there and buy akara and everything. They go chop them there. They suya, chop everything. Those big bros then, they were our uncles. Then go enjoy everything, clean their mouths. Then they will come back home in the evening when my mother is cooking. They will now eat my mother's food, pretend as if they've not eaten anything. But I saw them. I will now come back and tell my mom, when I was playing football, I saw Uncle Paul and Uncle James, they came to that place again, they were eating, they bought stuff for the. I would tell my mom. She was like, wow, but why can't you just bring some for the kids here? She'll be wondering why. Why? Because they are not part of your children, so they don't give a damn. They are only there because our father, with the money he has, he's giving them interest. In that zoo, they only love Nigeria because of the oil they are getting. They don't love the Igbos or the Biafrans because even though the oil comes from the land of the Biafra, they don't love. In fact, they hate us more. The only reason why they remain in one Nigeria is the oil, the proceeds, the revenue. The same thing does my uncle then. I will see them, they go buy, where would they play ball then? Those people they sell, then go buy plenty things, they chop. Then go chop outside. My father will give them cash. They go chop. Then come back house, pretend they've not eaten anything. My mom will now cook for the family. Then go there. They will even eat the biggest share than me because I was a kid and they were older than me. Then at the end, when they are going back to school, to university, my father will now carry money, big money. Say, you take this one. You take this one. Hey, go. I say, I will not tell my mom, say, even though daddy gave them this more money, I saw him again in the room. He still give them some big more money in their bag. You see? These things happen. The problem with Nigeria, that zoo, is because we don't love ourselves. I don't blame us. We are not one. We will never be one. The hatred must be there. But Britain, being smart, Britain is a clever country. They know that the only way they can control the resources is to create that seed of discord, to make sure there is hatred among them, create a confusion, make them one, force them together. I keep saying it. Nigeria is like Germany, England, France, Russia, Belgium, brought together as one country. It will never work. It will never work. If you bring England, Germany, France, Russia, and Belgium, make them one country and say, let the Russians rule them, that the Russians, they are born to rule in this new country, it will never work. Britain knew this problem, so they came and they made us one. And that's why a so-called giant of Africa is now looking like the ant of Africa. Very, very sad. But Ethiopia, a small country, look at what they are doing. Look at what they are doing. God have mercy. Thank God for Biafra. I just thank God. I thank God because that's the only thing that makes sense. When you look at it now, the only thing will make sense is, okay, divorce from the marriage and go and start your own life. Go and rebuild. You've been abused, neglected in the marriage. Go and rebuild yourself. That's what we are doing now with the Biafrans. We have left Nigeria and we want to rebuild ourselves, our nation, our people, our countrymen and women, our land. The land needs some healing. They've spilt oil. They've destroyed the land, degraded the land, everything they've done. We must rebuild and heal the land, heal the people, heal the community of Biafra. Eh? It's easy. It can be done. But when there is tribalism, nepotism, red tape everywhere, it's not possible because nobody wants to do the right thing. They want to eat and clean their mouth and pretend they've not eaten. And when you complain, their tribesmen will now say, hey, what's your business? He will remain there. He will remain there. Imagine a Buhari, a man with primary school, was made a president. Person when you complete primary school was made a president. It can only happen in a tribalized country. Think about that. Good luck was there. A professor was president. But the Yorubas, not all the Yorubas, but Tinubu and the rest of them, they went to partner with the North to bring in a Fulani man with a primary school certificate to run a country. What does that tell you? It will only happen in tribalism, in a tribalized country. But when you have the Yoruba nation, for example, the Yorubas, they govern themselves. Do you tell me a country that claims to be the most educated, do you tell me they'll allow a criminal, a drug man, somebody who no go school to govern them or to preside over them? I doubt it. But in tribalism, it's okay. Let the drug man come. Doesn't matter now. He must be there. Because walai, the Igbos must not be there. Walai, the Igbo, Yamani, they will not be there. That is the thinking. So because of that tribalism and racism, you are now looking at, say, the good becomes bad and the worse becomes good. All right. I rest my case. Ethiopia, God bless you. Keep doing what is right. Use your brain, do what is right. And very, very soon, Nigerians will be begging to get the visa to Ethiopia. It's already happening. The airlines now, Ethiopia Airlines is everywhere. Simple things, basic things you cannot do. Ordinary airline, Nigerian Airways or whatever they call it, they can't do it. They went to Ethiopia to go and steal a plane, bribe them. For a logo, you spend 2 billion. For a logo. Hi! Lord have mercy. I rest my case. For those that have ears, let them hear. For those that have ears, let them hear. Yeah, Biafra. Yeah, Superstar Media. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. We going back to the land. We going back to the motherland. Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land.